Good evening and welcome. My name is Taylor Kingman, President of the Board of Trustees for San Angelo ISD. I would like to welcome all of you who are present at tonight's regular board meeting, as well as those who will be watching the recording online or on our public access channel. Today is April 20th. All items on tonight's agenda have been posted as required by state law, and most items have been discussed in our earlier pre-agenda board workshop. As a board, our work includes setting goals, hearing reports from our superintendent, approving budgets, contracts, and personnel items, and making policy decisions for the district. Please keep in mind that this is a meeting of the board held in public, not a meeting of the public. These proceedings are recorded and will become part of the district's permanent record. To help us maintain a clear recording, please refrain from speaking while others have the floor, and please silence your cell phones. Thank you again for being here and for your support of SASD. We do have a quorum. Our entire board team is present, and we will begin with our first item on the agenda, which is our invocation. Bishop Sis from the Catholic Diocese of San Angelo is going to help us with that.
Thank you very much. Thanks for inviting me to come and pray with you. Let's take a deep breath and silently recollect ourselves and recognize the presence of God right here with us. Let us pray. Lord God of heaven and earth, we praise and honor you, the one God, living and true. As we approach the end of this school year, we thank you for the many blessings received in this year. And we ask you to help all of us to keep learning and growing from our experiences. We ask your blessing upon all the students, families, teachers, administrators, and board members of the San Angelo Independent School District. You are the source of all that we have and all that we are. Help the members of this board to apply their gifts generously and selflessly in service of the common good. Keep them safe and healthy, and grant them harmony in their family life, so that they may dedicate themselves wholeheartedly to the role of public service. Most of all, Lord, we place in your loving hands the students served by this district. Help us to provide them with a solid education, a safe environment, and a future full of hope. Please bless them and keep them. Make your face shine upon them and be gracious to them. Look upon them with loving kindness. Give them peace all the days of their lives. For you are God who live and reign forever and ever. Amen.
Thank you. Next, we are lucky to have two brother-sister combos from Bel Air Elementary. We have Stella and Rory Brown and Aiden and Abigail Shin. I just assumed y'all were brothers and sisters, so we're going to go with that, okay? If y'all come stand up here and... And parents, if y'all want to take pictures, you're welcome to as well. All right, we have several recognitions this evening, and Shannon Schwartz is going to help us with the first one, which is recognition of our military students and appreciation to the men and women of Goodfellow Air Force Base.
Good evening, everyone. We have a couple very special families with us. So could I have the Dunn family and the Brown family come in the middle with Dr. Moran, please? Thank you. Awesome. So across the country, April is recognized as Month of the Military Child, a time dedicated to honoring a special group of young people whose lives are shaped by service to our nation. Here in San Angelo, military-connected students are an integral part of our school community. They sit in our classrooms, perform on our stages, compete on our teams, and contribute in countless ways that make our schools a stronger place. Military children often face experiences that most of their peers do not. Frequent moves, long separations from parents, and the need to quickly adapt to new places and make new friends. Yet time and time again, they meet those challenges with resilience, courage, and a remarkable ability to adapt. Their strength and perseverance inspires us all. And I think we could all be a little more like that too. San Angelo ISD is proud to serve nearly 500 military-connected students. And we are equally proud that multiple campuses across San Angelo ISD have earned the Purple Star designation from the TEA over the last 5 years. This designation recognizes schools that are committed to supporting military families and ensuring students feel welcomed and connected. So as I said earlier, tonight we have some very special guests with us. From Glenmore Elementary, we have Zoe and Oriana Dunn, along with their parents, Megan and Frank Dunn. Can you guys join me in giving them a hand? We're also welcoming Bel Air Elementary School students Stella and Rory, who did a fantastic job with the Pledge of Allegiance, Glen Middle Schooler Stuart Brown, and their mother, Rebecca Brown. Their father was unable to attend this evening, but we're so glad that y'all are all here. We also want to extend our sincere appreciation to the families of Goodfellow Air Force Base. Your service, sacrifice, and commitment to our country are deeply valued, and we're honored to educate your children. We'd also like to welcome two extremely special guests as well from Goodfellow Air Force Base. If y'all will go ahead and hop up here with these guys. It's a full crowd up in the middle. We love it. We're also excited to welcome Colonel Nathan Olson, commander of the 17th Mission Support Group, and Mr. Darryl Miller, the school liaison program manager at Goodfellow Air Force Base. We're so grateful for the meaningful work that you all do for our country, our community, and for our students. This month and every month, we celebrate our military children and thank them for the strength, resilience, and pride that they bring to our schools and our community. Join us again in giving them a round of applause, please.
Next, we're going to move forward, and Shannon's got the next one as well, which is our Central High School students selected as Texas All-State Musicians.
Awesome. So if we can get our All-State musicians to come up here to the front, please. Awesome. So we're excited to continue tonight's recognitions as we honor and recognize outstanding Central High School band and choir students who earned the prestigious honor of being named Texas All-State Musicians. Achieving TMEA All-State honors is the culmination of hundreds of hours of disciplined practice, representing the absolute pinnacle of musical excellence in Texas. This prestigious honor recognizes not only a student's exceptional technical mastery, but also the resilience and unwavering dedication required to outshine thousands of peers across the state. We celebrate this remarkable accomplishment as a testament to the power of artistic passion and the pursuit of a standard that truly defines the best of the best. We also want to thank our dedicated staff members who generously give their time to help develop the talents of our students and programs. I'd like to introduce to you now both Dylan Ochoa, and Ian Caraballo. Dylan is a freshman and made first chair in the tenor 2 section, which placed him into the large school mixed choir, which is the top ensemble. Dylan is directed by Mr. Landon Gilmore. And Ian is a junior, and this is his second time being selected as a TMEA All-State musician. In the final round of auditions, Ian earned a chair in the symphonic band, the highest TMEA All-State band. Ian is directed by Mr. Daniel Villanueva. Please help me in celebrating these outstanding accomplishments for Dylan and Ian.
All right, next we're doing recognition of Lakeview High School powerlifting. I think Coach Chant is going to come help us with that, based on the fact that Shannon didn't walk up.
Dr. Kingman, Dr. Moran, Board of Trustees, it's an honor tonight to recognize the Lakeview State Powerlifting Qualifiers. This year, Lakeview qualified 3 girls and 4 boys to the state meet. In order to qualify for the state meet, you must be in the top 2 in your weight class at the regional meet. The girls' teams placed 3rd as a team at regionals, while the boys' team placed 1st overall and were regional champions for the first time in Lakeview powerlifting history. Ethan Packard set a regional record in squat of 550 pounds. James Ogeda also set a regional record in deadlift of 635 pounds. Ethan was awarded Best Lifter on the light platform at regionals. Bella Reyes was awarded the Best Bench at the regional unequipped meet as well. Ethan also set a state record in the squat at 585 pounds, while Janiyah still holds the state deadlift record with a lift of 440 pounds. Overall, the boys' team finished 4th at the state meet. I'd like to recognize each one of them. Bella Reyes finished 3rd place at state. Averlyn Sosa finished 13th place. Janira Jefferson finished 3rd. Josh Lamos finished 12th. Connor Williams finished 18th. Ethan Packard finished 2nd overall. And James Ogeda was our state champion. Ladies and gentlemen, the Lakeview State Powerlifting Qualifiers and State Champions. Head coach is Sergio Plata. Assistant is Brian Farrell. How much?
Go, Chief!
Our next recognition is for the Safe Employee Recognition Campaign Honor Roll employees. It's a lot. And Ms. Schwartz is going to help us with that one.
Hello again. If I can get all of our CERC honor roll members to come stand over here, we're going to hand you some stuff when I call your name. Don't everyone get up at once. There we go. Awesome. Perfect. I think I'm going to call y'all one by one. Yeah, so y'all are good. Okay. Okay, now that everyone's almost over there, each year the Safety Employee Recognition Campaign, or CERC, provides an opportunity to recognize and reward employees who demonstrate exceptional commitment to safety on the job. During this campaign, employees across the district are nominated for consistently practicing and promoting safe work habits. From the many employees recognized throughout the campaign, a select group has been chosen by the CERC committee for a higher honor as the 2025-2026 CERC Honor Roll employees. These individuals have gone above and beyond to promote safety and serve as role models to their colleagues. Their commitment helps ensure a safe working and learning environment for students, staff, and visitors across San Angelo ISD. Tonight, we're proud to recognize the following employees. From our child nutrition team, we have Maria Roman, Inez Saldivar, and Josephine Smith, who couldn't be here tonight. From our custodial team, we have Victor Landine, Elijah Rodriguez, and Sammy Vigil. From our maintenance team, we have Adolfo Moreno, Marty Pedrick, and Steve Smith. From our technology team, we have David Arocha, Perry Green, and Q Walker. Awesome. And from our transportation team, we have Mauricio Franco, Matt Langford, and Leon Roach. Please join me in congratulating these difference makers for their commitment to safety and for helping make San Angelo ISD a safe place to learn. We're going to make 2 rows and squeeze in real tight, like we like and work with each other every day.
All right, next is the recognition for PCAT's District Bus Driver of the Year.
So each day, school bus drivers are entrusted with the responsibility of safely transporting our students to and from school. No matter the weather conditions or traffic on the road, their performance must always meet the highest standard. This year, following a district selection process, one exceptional driver was chosen to represent San Angelo ISD as the Property Casualty Alliance of Texas, or PCAT, Bus Driver of the Year. On behalf of PCAT, it's my honor to present Terry Langford as the San Angelo ISD's 25-26 PCAT Bus Driver of the Year. Mr. Langford's recognition reflects his dedication to safety and his commitment to serving San Angelo ISD students every day. His professionalism and care help ensure that students arrive safely to school and back again at home. Please join me in congratulating Terry Langford on this well-deserved honor.
All right, our final recognition of the evening is for our 2026 Capturing Kids' Hearts National Showcase campuses, and Dr. Gomez is going to help us with that.
Dr. Kingman, Dr. Moran, and members of the board, we are proud to announce that 13 San Angelo ISD campuses have been recognized as a Capturing Kids' Hearts National Showcase campus this year. That's up from 10 last year. This prestigious honor is awarded to schools that demonstrate exceptional commitment to building a safe, connected, and high-achieving learning environment through the implementation of Capturing Kids' Hearts processes and practices. This recognition celebrates our staff's dedication to fostering strong relationships, promoting positive culture, and equipping students with the tools they need to succeed academically and personally. It's a very busy time, so all campuses tried to have a representative. We'll hold our applause to the end. Dr. Miranda, if you could come up to shake hands. And campuses, you know, I like to do alphabetical order, so just to prepare you all. So, following that alphabetical order, first up we have Bonham Elementary. Next up, Bowie Elementary. And guys, we will basically fill this whole area because we'll have quite a few. Thank you. Now let's hear it for Bradford Elementary. Not sure if they were able to make it. I'm looking. I think they're trying to get in there. How about Crockett Elementary? All right, Crockett. Next, we have Fannin Elementary. Goliad Elementary. Holloman Elementary. Lamar Elementary. Lincoln Middle School. Lone Star Middle School. McGill Elementary. Reagan Elementary. And last but certainly not least, Santa Rita Elementary. All of these campuses receive a banner to be hung on their campus. If they previously have a banner, then they receive a heart to designate the year that they were named a National Showcase campus. So that's why you're not getting new hardware this evening. That is coming to all of you. Now, I'm going to help soon here for a group picture. Y'all all organize school pictures, so y'all have like 20 seconds to organize yourself for a really big picture. Again, congratulations to our 13 National Showcase campuses. Way to go.
All right, next on our agenda is public comment. We do have individuals signed up to speak this evening. For those speaking tonight, please remember to follow the guidelines you received when you signed in and that were displayed on the screen before the meeting began. Our first speaker is Mrs. Reed, and it's regarding the demolition of Carver.
Good evening, President Dr. Kingman, members of the board, Superintendent Dr. Moran, and citizens present. My name is Michelle Grooms-Reed, and I serve as the president of the NAACP Unit 6219. I'm here today on behalf of concerned citizens of San Angelo regarding the proposed vote to demolish the historic Carver Learning Center. I respectfully ask that the board consider tabling this vote to allow time for meaningful community discussion and exploration of alternative options to this historic building. The Carver campus holds deep historic and cultural significance for the San Angelo community. Originally established as a segregated school for black children in San Angelo ISD, it represents an important and often difficult chapter in both districts and cities' history. Any decision to demolish this structure should be approached with great care, full transparency, and meaningful public input. Additionally, the estimated cost of demolition further supports the need for thorough review before proceeding. While we acknowledge the building is nearly 100 years old, there are other campuses of similar ages, such as Santa Rita Elementary and Fort Concho Elementary, where investments were made to preserve and continue serving the community. This demonstrates that preservation and revitalization are possible when communities and leadership work together. Tabling this vote would give the community an opportunity to collaborate, develop viable solutions, and potentially form partnerships that could benefit not only the Carver Learning Center, but also the surrounding neighborhood. This area includes the historic Dunbar Library, recognized as the oldest free public library in San Angelo and once the only library serving the black community from 1932 to 1972 during segregation. Preserving Carver is about more than a building. It's about protecting the legacy of community whose history has already been significantly impacted. The construction of Loop 306, which cut off Martin Luther King Drive, led to the decline of many black-owned businesses that once thrived in this area. Many residents now feel that what remains of that history is at risk of being lost. Emotions in the community are high, and I've received numerous calls from citizens who are deeply concerned that the black history in San Angelo is being erased. For these reasons, I respectfully urge the board to table this agenda item, allow the community time to fully understand the situation, come together and present thoughtful solutions, and honor to preserve this important piece of our shared history. Thank you for your time and the opportunity to address this evening, and thank you for your service.
Thank you, Mrs. Reed. Next, we have Mrs. Butler, and topic was unlisted, but I'm going to go with Carver unless she corrects me.
Good evening, Dr. Kingman, board, Dr. Moran. I am here to discuss the possible demolition, Dedra Butler, the possible demolition of Carver Learning Center, or to the Blackshear community, it will always be Carver. To me, Carver represents one of the last few historical landmarks left in what was the black community. You see, my roots run deep in that community. I had an uncle, Irvin Butler, who was the first black policeman. I had an aunt, Mary Frances Butler Owens, an educator who was a part of the desegregation committee in 1955, along with school board president at the time, Frank Poole, L.A. Rabin, founder of the local NAACP, Mayor M.D. Bryant, and other school administrators. My godmother's father, Buffalo Soldier J.W. Walker, started the first black church, my church, Greater St. Paul AME, and on and on. This was the school that my mother and all of her siblings attended at the time when schools were segregated. Even though I reside in Mr. Dindal's district, I still own property in the Blackshear neighborhood. If you know Dedra's motto is, Dedra Cares. Someone said to me just the other day, I just don't have emotional attachment to old school buildings. And it triggered a memory of a neighbor telling me, I just don't get into politics when I asked for their support when running for office a year ago. Since then, I've had a couple of neighbors to ask for my intervention getting issues solved, by the city. And although I did not win the office, nor did they vote at all, because I studied the list of people that voted, I immediately went to work on their behalf because I care. I care about people, and I have attachment to my history and where I grew up, playing as a little girl and telling the stories of many trailblazers, friends, and family alike from those parts of San Angelo as a member of the San Angelo Standard-Times editorial board for 15 years. You see, Carver, the Black community, is a piece of my story. Therefore, I, like many, felt blindsided when learning of the possible demolition scheduled to occur on the agenda.
Thank you, Mrs. Butler.
Well, thank you all.
Next, we have Mrs. Smith, and her topic is Carver.
Good evening. The board has been already addressed, and I just want to say I respect what you do. My name is Evelyn Smith, and I went to Carver and also used Dunbar Library, which is next door to Carver. I'm in that neighborhood almost every day doing things in that neighborhood. And I just want to say, I know there's other people who approached you about Carver and Blackshear. But I just want to say a little bit what I did myself, just as a everyday person, that's what I call myself, that what I did talk to, and I understand she's not here anymore, but Executive Director of Communication, Molly Turk. I talked to her on March 18, 2024, February 13, 2024, March 18, 2024, and so I know that this is all in your jurisdiction where you probably know something about that. And my discussion was, I was trying to get Blackshear and Carver is a historic building, because it is historic. I don't have to tell you, you've heard enough about that already. I also tried to get Carver School to get a mural put on that building and get the kids involved so it would encourage them to do more and get involved in helping putting the mural on there. I got turned down for all of that. And I did talk to Dr. Moran in 2025 when he did come to the NAACP to speak for us, my concern about Carver and Blackshear. And at that time, he said there was nothing on the agenda to demolish either one of those schools. So I'm just here asking you on today. I didn't get a notice. Nobody in the neighborhood I ever know that got a notice. If you would just table that on tonight, and give us a chance to do something to respond and make a presentation, or maybe there's another option. Give the community a chance to do something. As I see, we did not have a chance. I never knew anything about it. Nobody else did. So I'm just pleading to you at this time, as a grown child that has a lot of history in that area and still do, would you please consider just tabling that? Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Smith. And next we have Mr. Villarreal. Topic is Carver campus.
Good evening, President Kingman and Superintendent Moran and the board. My name is Tony Villarreal, and I am here on behalf of Manu to respectfully ask the board to table this item on the agenda concerning the demolition of historic Carver Learning Center. Carver is not just an old building. It's a historic campus with deep meaning for this community. It began as a segregated school for Black children in San Angelo ISD. And for generations, it stood as part of a painful but important chapter in our city's history. That history should not be erased without a full and careful review. We understand that the district has concerns about the building's condition. We understand that repairs and maintenance and renovation can be costly, but demolition is permanent. Once this building is torn down, that history is gone forever. Before that decision is made, the board should allow time to explore every alternative available. The estimated demolition cost is already significant. Before spending that kind of money to destroy a historic structure, this district should consider preservation, adaptive reuse, phase rehabilitation, public and private partnerships, and any other option that could keep the building standing and available for public use. This is bigger than bricks and mortar. It's about memory, identity, and respect for the people and families whose history is tied to Carver. The community deserves a chance to be heard, and this board deserves the opportunity to make a decision with the facts and alternatives in front of it. We at Manu respectfully ask for the board to table this item tonight and direct the staff to return with the preservation and reuse options for consideration. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you, Mr. Villarreal. Next, we have Ms. Spears. Again, topic is Carver Learning Center.
Good evening to Dr. Kingman, to Dr. Moran, and to other trustees and those present in the room. My name is Shirley Spears. I'm a resident here of San Angelo. And while I am not a part of the history for Carver, I like to say that I'm a little closet historian. And I have many associates here in the audience this evening who have told me all of the stories, which are similar to those stories that I experienced in Fort Worth, Texas, of what went on at Carver and what went on in the Black community. I think what concerns us the most here is that there seemed to be a surprise element to being able to discuss this tonight as to whether or not you were moving forward with demolition efforts. The community as a whole, and I think I can say this correctly and fairly, that the NAACP, President Michelle Reed, whom you've already heard from, was not aware of this until it hit the media. Dudra Butler was not aware of it until it hit the media. These are just two people that are part of the community overall, not just that community where Carver currently sits. I think you would be kind to listen to what Ms. Butler had to say about all of her history and her association there. And I think it's important for you to listen to what Ms. Evelyn had to say about her experiences there at Carver. The problem is that there seems to be no transparency in plans to move forward. And I've spoken before this board on several occasions, and I think you all know how I feel when there is no transparency. And I think it's important for us to realize that in today's environment in this country, efforts are being made to disrupt diversity, equity, and inclusion. And we didn't request diversity, equity, and inclusion nearly 100 years ago when the segregated system caused you to create Carver School. We're now asking that the community and all those stakeholders who are impacted be given an opportunity to talk through the process, get additional information from you with regard to the condition of the property, and ways that the community can help the city of San Angelo maintain that property for historic and cultural purposes. So we ask that you table your vote tonight and let us have time to work as a community. We always say that San Angelo is one community. Let us take time and be fair and transparent, and let us work as a community. So please table this vote this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Spears. Next, we have Mr. Keeley.
Good evening, Board. It's a little weird being on this side of the dais instead of the opposite. I'm Patrick Keeley. I'm the City Council for District 4. Blackshear Heights and this school is in that community. That's why I thought it would be important for me to come today. First, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for choosing to be a public servant. You thoughtfully consider each and every item that comes on your agenda, and I know that you carefully consider those and your fiduciary responsibilities and how best to serve SISD and the city of San Angelo. It's almost an impossible task to please everyone while also trying to do what you know in your heart is best from your seat. Today I come before you on behalf of a community that is and has been heavily involved in their community and this city. They too give countless hours, dollars, sweat, and tears to bettering other lives around them. We humbly ask that you give us time to talk to community members and leaders, to nonprofits, to national organizations, to anyone who will listen, to have a chance to save Carver and possibly preserve some of the history that meant so much to an entire community. History is important. It is what we learn from, and a lot of us get our identities from. It shaped many of our laws that we live by today, good or bad. As you've already seen with those school closures, schools have a deep impact on many of our lives. We remember our teachers, our principals, our coaches, our friends, our athletic and arts events. Carver not only has those same memories, but also has deeper historical ties that matter to entire communities, even those that never attended. I think that's where this is a little different than the previous school closures. This matters to, as Shirley spoke to, this matters to communities that never even attended. It is a deeper meaning and historical event than just a regular school. If my personal school, we had one elementary school, if it closed, wasn't a big deal to me. I moved on. This has historical ties. Some in this room actually attended. Obviously, I didn't. So it matters to a lot of people. Right now, all we ask is you table the demolition, give us a liaison to work with, and see if we can help save you that money of the demolition costs and preserve a capstone in an entire community. Let that demolition money work earning interest while the community goes to work saving it responsibly. I don't know that we can save it, but we would sure like to have a shot at it. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Next we have Ms. Haywood, and the topic is Carver.
Good evening. My name is Angela Haywood, and I stand here as a fourth-generation citizen and SAISD student, and all of my aunts and uncles went to Carver. All of their records, historical records, their championships were in that school, as well as Blackshear. And the people that are here today will tell you that Carver means a lot. I've heard the stories. I've listened to the stories. I have repeated the stories. I've had arguments with my siblings with regard to how the stories have gone. Carver means a lot, as well as the others that are no longer there, like the Randolph Center. I was there. I was in the nursery at Randolph Center. Carver means just that much to me and to my family. It is historical. And if you give us a chance, the community, and give us the transparency as to what you are wanting to do, we will do what we have to do in order to help you save Carver. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Haywood. All right. Next, we're going to move forward with some agenda items. And I promise as soon as we get to action items, I'll move y'all up into the action items so y'all don't have to sit here any longer than y'all have to. Okay? I apologize. Okay. First is an information item. Brooks Weiner from KFW is going to give us a bond construction update.
Good evening, Dr. Moran, Dr. Brandon, Dr. Gomez, trustees. Just a quick update. Last meeting, I showed y'all sort of where we were with Fannin and Lakeview, and so here's just a few new images, trying to kind of keep things a little fresh. This is from the 65% set that we recently submitted on Friday for Fannin Elementary. Here, we just want to show you sort of an idea that we are kicking around for the playground. The other day, myself and Melissa Speck in our office and Carl Danheim, we had to run over to the campus to get some field measurements, and it was after school, and so there's like an after school program coming along, and so we were outside taking some measurements out where that sport court is, and this little kid kind of like runs up, breaks out of his group, and he runs up to me. He's like, "Guys, are y'all doing the new building?" And anyway, he's like, "We all do one of those playgrounds with the wall, and you climb into it, and you climb up, and you go in and stuff." And so anyway, Melissa relayed that story just kind of as a funny little story to our landscape architect, and so they said, "Well, let's just see what we can kind of come up with." So just as a sort of something to consider, we don't know quite yet. It's a little bit of a departure from what was at McGill or Crockett, but so you can see kind of there on the side is that little climbing wall that kind of like gives that little boy sort of something to sort of climb on and climb in and climb around and stuff. So again, this is something that I think Dr. Moran and Dr. Brandon didn't see until just earlier this afternoon. So, but this was just a little idea to kind of kick around something kind of fun. It's in the Fanning colors as well, the blue and gold. So just a few little images there of some fun playground equipment there. And then I think y'all are voting later on this evening on the contractor for the Lakeview High School concession building. So that came in. Those numbers were delivered on Wednesday, and so we're excited to get that started. And so here's some nice, a little bit more realistic renderings than what y'all have seen. The material will be split face CMU, but it's a special kind to meet energy code. It has built-in insulation, and so you'll see this. So it's a single wide system, but it has kind of like the stone sort of rough face, and then some canopies around there for shade. So that building in the foreground is a ticketing booth where people can walk up, buy their tickets to the events, and then in the back there you can see the concession building. The windows where they can buy concessions, and then around to the side is a group restroom, and then further around the back is officials dressing, and you can see there's the track, and then on the right-hand side of the image would be the softball field, and then on the left-hand side of the field image would be on the baseball field. So this would be the parking lot that's expanded with the additional 25-ish spaces. So that's what I've got for y'all this evening. If y'all have any questions, I'd be happy to.
With delivering the 65% plan to the city, are we happy with where we are on the Fannin timeline?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. Sorry, that's going to be my question every time.
Quick question.
Other questions?
Yeah. On the playground, is that still within our budget for the playground?
We believe so, yes. I mean, this playground won't be any more than what the Crockett or Fannin playgrounds cost. It'll be in line with that. So it's not going to be any more or less.
Won't be a cert.
Yeah, it won't be a super special crazy playground.
All right, thank you.
And if I can, just make a comment on that. Mr. Wayner was correct. These images were just shared with us. So there really hasn't been a thorough review or selection of said playground. But anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there. Nothing is final.
And I apologize, Dr. Moran and Dr. Brandon. We just got them Friday, so anyway, wanted to give y'all something to see.
I have a question on the Lakeview concession. That's not to be confused with that portable, right, that we were going to renovate for concession also there on the campus for lunches? This is totally separate? Okay. Is that still in the works?
So this concession stand is a brand new build. This will serve the football, soccer, baseball, and softball fields. And this will be a first-class facility for them and really dress that area. If you've been out to those fields, you know they're getting new turf on both baseball, softball, tracks being resurfaced. The football, soccer field will be resurfaced. They'll get bleachers that are like a non-varsity style bleacher, not a 1,000 or more, but lighting for the fields, which they haven't had. So there's a major upgrade there. The portable for the lunch is in place. It's been used, but that's on the other side of the fields there.
Okay.
Yeah.
The kids are using that?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
All right. Any other questions regarding the bond projects? Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Gomez is going to help us with an update on academic programs.
Dr. Keeman, Dr. Moran, and members of the board, this evening's report is on summer programming. While we are fully committed to finishing the school year strong, and we have approximately a month left of instruction, we are deep in summer planning and planning for the 26-27 school year. We are very fortunate with our community support, with a much-needed bond, to have quite a bit of extensive work this summer that we have not been able to have in a number of years. That does impact our schedule and intentionality in summer programming. So we've shifted many of our summer programs, still having the offerings, but shifted those to July to allow crucial work to take place and to work with the contractors that will be providing those services. In the month of June, we will have our high school support for students that need to retest an end-of-course exam. That program is actually going to take place at Oaks, not at Central High School and not at Lakeview High School, to avoid any summer work in the month of June on the high school campuses. And those are specific time periods based on the tests the students need to retake. Then in the month of July, we will have our elementary summer school held at Bowie and Reagan. And the elementary summer programming also includes support for our bilingual students, and that program will be held specifically at Reagan. And then it also includes support for special education students that need additional behavior supports, and that program will be held at Bowie in conjunction with the regular program. You also likely remember in last month's middle of the year update for our campuses working in school improvement, I told you based on our middle of the year data, we were providing specialized supports for 2 elementary campuses based on their data, Bel Air and Goliad, and we're calling that a specialized reading intervention, and that special group will be held at Reagan. Again, all of this is in conjunction with the other programs to increase efficiency with staffing and facilities. And then also in the month of July, we will continue what we refer to as our middle school jumpstart program. So if you're a parent yourself and you've experienced the transition from elementary to middle school, or you have a special family member, that transition from elementary to middle school is typically more nerve-wracking for the parent than the child. As a former elementary and middle school principal and parent, I understand that feeling very well. So we provide what's called a jump start, so students entering 6th grade can experience life on the 3 middle school campuses. When you think about it, most of our elementary students have up to 3, maybe 4 max teachers, and then they go to secondary with a whole different schedule. So we want to ease any nerves and apprehension, and that's what we do through our middle school program. There is an academic connection, of course, but more importantly, it's about, look, come see what this is all about, so that we can set students and families up for success. We will also continue to have in July what's referred to as our extended school year, specific to special education students that are based on the ARD committee, that the additional services are deemed necessary. And so those services will take place in July as well. And then lastly, we will have, in terms of kind of retesting extended year, we will have credit recovery for both high schools in July. And the credit recovery program will be different than the retesting program, and it will be back on campuses, but we've ensured that there will be no interference with construction on where the classes will take place. And then back to Jumpstart. So we talked about that very important transition from elementary to middle school. Well, it's also a very important transition when students are first entering. So as we know, not all students enter pre-K. So for many students, their first formal interaction at school is in kindergarten. So just like we do the middle school Jumpstart, we do a kindergarten Jumpstart to really, again, I invite anyone the first week of school to come to the cafeteria for littles and just help them carry the lunch tray. And I love our child nutrition staff. I think they've all left. But if you've never helped pre-K or kindergarten open ketchup packets, we'll take all the volunteers we can. Or to carry the tray with a milk carton and a slice of pizza. So just little things like that that seem very small, they're huge. And we do that in that Kindergarten Jumpstart program. We do that on 4 campuses to cover throughout the community. So this year, Kindergarten Jumpstart will be held at Bowie, Glenmore, Goliad, and Reagan. And so we are in the process. We've interviewed, because that is a requirement. Staff must be certified in the applicable areas. We've interviewed for administrators and named administrators. We are in process of interviewing teachers, and all notifications will go out by May 1st. Then after those staff members are selected, we will wrap up with interviewing for clerical support for summer programming. So that's it in a nutshell. Can I take any questions?
Any questions for Dr. Gomez?
I have a couple. We'll start with high school, the support retest.
Yes.
Has the state given us the window of when the kids will receive their scores so they know if they have to retest?
Yes. And that will be done. So we have to go ahead and submit and get information out. And then it's like regular, even elementary summer school. We will have time before the programs begin to make calls and say, great news, you don't have to come, or you indeed do need to come.
So also at Oaks, they're going to go there to test again for the EOC.
Mm-hmm.
Are we providing help?
Yes, that's what the program is all about. So, Ms. Duncan, there is small group teacher instruction, and the teachers providing that instruction must have the certification. Now, we also do some other supports where some teachers, I'll give a great example. We oftentimes get very dedicated middle school teachers do with the state certifications, the way they come out. A middle school teacher could have a 4 through 8 certification, but not a 7 through 12 certification. But they're still very familiar, like in the area of Algebra 1, assisting those teachers, but technically they're not certified. They help in another area with monitoring and supporting. But the teachers providing the direct instruction have certification in the subject area they're retesting for.
Okay. So they will attend Oaks, get the tutorials, the help, whatever they need, and then retest.
Yes, ma'am.
And we're going to let them, it's important to let them know ASAP, because high school kids will be getting jobs and
absolutely,
and things like that. And then my other question, we talk about middle school, and it's really for anyone from 3rd to 8th. Those that take the STAR are not successful. Are we, do we go back and try to help and fill that during the next school year?
We do. It's a part of the schedule for, the legislative updates have changed that quite a bit. It's now referred to as 1416 and a required number of hours of remediation in the content area that they were unsuccessful. But by the legislature, we have to have a plan during the regular school year, and we do have that at all levels.
Okay. All righty. Thank you,
Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Gomez, thank you first for updating with us with all of that. It's just amazing how much goes on throughout the summer when people think that we're off. But I wanted to just reiterate the Jumpstart programs, and in particular, well, I guess both of them, but I keep going back to the middle school Jumpstart program, and how, yes, the kids are much more excited about going to middle school than the parents typically, but those kids go in with such a bigger, a much more confidence when they've gone to that program. They know where their classes are. They know who some of the teachers are. They kind of know, just have a better gist of, what's happening. And so I just wanted to really encourage any parents of upcoming middle school parents to make sure that your kids attend that.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Dr.?
Yes. My question is concerning the summer programming. How do you go about designating certain campuses to host those programs? I noticed that Bowie and Reagan is hosting almost all of them. So what goes into selecting?
So we rotate those, Mrs. Cardenas. They're not the same every year. Again, this summer is a unique summer in the amount of work that will be taking place. But having been a former elementary principal who experienced this directly, if we have one campus that's designated multiple years in a row, as hard as we try to work around cleaning schedules and all the things, you can't do the thorough cleaning and maintenance that you want to do if there was not a specialized program on the campus. So we rotate those so that just one or two campuses aren't always the ones designated. And this summer in particular, we've really worked with the contractors and the work schedule to make sure that we're not interfering. So the required repairs can be done. So that's how it's not like it was 2009 when I was principal at Fannin. As you notice, Fannin is not on here now. As the principal, you feel like it's my school every year, but we have a chart that shows, no, actually it hasn't been since this amount of year. Also, it's very important that we provide meals during the summer. As we know with our students with need a free and reduced lunch, there are regulations, national regulations for a site to be allowed to do free summer feeding. And so that requirement does also sometimes limit us on which campuses, because if we can't provide the meals, we don't get as large of a turnout. Plus, we don't feel like it's as beneficial for our students and the families if we can't provide that service. We also work with local partners, the Boys and Girls Club, specifically the YMCA, and branch out, because what we want for all students in the summer months, not just those involved in summer programming, but to make sure basic needs are met so that they're receiving meals and that they're staying safe. So it's more than just the district as a whole, but it's also outreach to those community partnerships. Yes, ma'am.
Other questions?
Quick, Dr. Gomez, the free lunches for the kids, that's for all of them.
Correct.
They don't have to be in there. They can.
That is correct. It's for any school-age student. However, Mr. Gallegos, that campus must meet the threshold for it to be a summer feeding site. So as I was explaining, that does also impact which campuses we can have for the summer programs.
And Dr. Gomez, this may not be in your wheelhouse, but we typically present what campuses will have free lunches at our May meeting right before and then again in our June meeting, correct, as far as where the meals are so that people know that in the community.
I'll be glad to speak on that. I know that the communications department does a really good job of getting that information out. It'll be part of the Monday morning radio spot. We'll get that out via newsletter. It'll be well communicated to the community so people will know where to go and how to take advantage of that.
Thank you, Dr. Moran.
Yes, and we're also sharing that with our administrators in tomorrow's meeting, but it does all correlate. So this is the importance of all departments working together. So whenever we look at even summer programming, we also meet with child nutrition, making sure we be able to use this campus. A great example was, with our ESY for special education. As you all are aware, our functional academic students in elementary are at Lamar. Lamar did not meet the threshold last year. We did hold the program there, but to provide meals, we bused to Goliad, which was a summer feeding site. Well, that's not optimal state every year. Part of their goals do have to do with arrival, riding the bus to and from school. But this year we're providing that support at Reagan because it also meets the threshold. So it's looking at all those factors and working together.
Thank you, Dr. Gomez. All right, no more questions. Next is our annual required hours of continuing education for school board members. We have to announce this at this meeting every year, our April meeting every year. For school board safety training, Ms. Cardenas completed 2 hours, Mr. Dindal completed 2 hours, Mrs. Duncan completed 2 hours, Mr. Gallegos 2 hours, myself 2 hours, Mrs. Flint, myself Flint 2 hours, and Dr. Mills 2 hours. For additionally continuing education, Ms. Cardenas did 4 hours, Mr. Dindal did 6 hours, Mrs. Duncan did 7 hours, Gallegos did 10.5, I did 6 hours, Ms. Myself Flint did 13 hours, and Dr. Mills did 7 hours. Total hours of continuing education is Ms. Cardenas 6 hours, Mr. Dindal 8 hours, Ms. Duncan 9 hours, Mr. Gallegos 12 and a half hours, myself 8 hours, Mrs. Mizell 15 hours, and Dr. Mills 9 hours. All right. Next, we're going to move forward with our consent items, which are consent items A through D. We have our minutes from our March 9th and March 26th meetings, library books, our bid 25-015, which was a transportation adder, and bid 25-018, which was a curriculum and instruction material adder we discussed last week. Anyone have anything they want to pull from the consent agenda? Do I have a motion for consent items A through D?
Move for approval of items A through D.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
So I have a motion from Mr. Dindal and a second from Dr. Mills. Any further board comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Please raise your hand. Aye. All against say the same. Motion passes 7-0. All right. Next, my brainchild of having our Finance and Audit Committee workshop right here in the middle of the agenda. We'll see how it works. I'm going to turn that over to Mr. Dindal to do that.
Thank you, Dr. Kingman. Our March bills and accounts reports begin on page 33 with all the finance and audit reports that were provided to us this month. Page 35 is going to begin the bills and accounts data. Page 37 reflects the combined balance statement of revenues and expenditures for March. Currently, the committed fund balance is $4,892,209. Of that balance, $4.080 million prox is for capital projects. Most of that we've already approved, and so that's the reason those funds are committed for these projects that are upcoming that we have not paid for. The report also shows an unrestricted fund balance at this point of $45,035,170, so we still continue to maintain at least a 3-month cushion, which is required by the TEA to move forward for schools to have in their fund balance just in case there's a lag in funding of some sort. Any questions about that? Okay, if not, we can move to page 40, which shows our general fund revenues and expenditures report for March. We're in the 7th month of our budget cycle right now, so we should be at around 58% of revenues and expenditures. Currently right now, our revenue runs slightly ahead at 66.8% due to the single 1 and 2 month collection of local revenue. Federal and state revenue comes in and kind of fills in the difference, and state revenue is short of that at this point, but by the end of the year they come in and help make our budget whole. And our expenditures are right on line at 58.4%. Anybody has any questions about that? If not, we can move forward to page 41 through 61 is our March check register. All the transactions that went down this month are in there. Any questions on any of those checks? I encourage you to review that before the meeting and get with Dr. Brandon before the meeting to make sure that if you have any questions at all, he can clear those things up. If there are no questions at this point, we can move forward, but you can always talk to Dr. Brandon about any of those transactions. Page 62 begins the investment reports for March. The district's total invested funds at the end of March were $482,745,692.37, of which most of that are bond funds. The total interest earned for the month was $1,558,796.84. Currently, our interest rate pools run anywhere from 3.66 to 3.8%. Again, most of that is from bond funds as we spend down that bond. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with that, but our option to, when the bond passed, was to garner all the funds at once. That way we got a discount from the state in paying it back in the long term. So it saved the community several $1 million when we did that, instead of parting it out and borrowing money as we needed as we went forward in borrowing money for all the bond projects. There's no question about that investment report. We can move to page 67, which is the tax collection report for February. That report always runs about a month behind, so this is the tax report for February. Our total 2024 collections were at 93.97%, while our total collections run slightly behind for 2025. They're at 91.19%. Any questions on the tax collection report? If not, page 68 is the March PO report for anything over $20,000 that the district issued. Several POs, several categories. Not sure if any of the board members have any questions about any of those.
On page 68, I just can't read what it says there. It says, is that intercom specialties on page 68 for that 131,000? Is it intercom spec? And what's underneath? Oversight. Oversight, okay. I couldn't read. I was like, what does that say on there?
Mr. Gallegos, Crux is the third-party vendor doing the oversight and developing the specifications for the bond for each one of the campuses that's receiving a new intercom system.
And that's part of the safety?
Yes, sir.
That we've done.
All right, additional questions? If not, that concludes the finance report.
All right. Next, we're going to do action item A, just because we're trying to keep it all together. Consider bills, accounts, and financial statements for March 2026. Do I have a motion to approve that?
Dr. Kingman, as we just reviewed these reports, in addition, all these reports can be found online on our website, saisd.org, under a financial transparency tab. Just as we've read them and gone over them, all these reports are printed and can be reviewed by any member of the community that would like to. And with that, I'd move to approve the Finance and Audit Report for March of 2026.
A motion from Mr. Dindal. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second from Dr. Mills. Any further board comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Raise your hand. Bill. Sorry. Stay low. Stay low. All right. Motion. You made the motion. I mean, it's still. Motion passes 7-0. All right. Next, we're going to move to item D, Mr. Henry. Bid 26-005, which is Carver Campus Abatement and Demolition.
Thank you for having me here tonight. Tonight I bring forth 26-005 Carver Abatement. With the movement of DAP out of Carver and our declining enrollment, it has left the Carver campus vacant and no longer needed. With the assistance of King Consulting, specifications and drawings were produced to abate and demo the entire Carver campus. Bids were received from 7 companies capable of performing this type of work. These were reviewed and scored, and One Priority Environmental LLC and Reese Albert Trucking received the highest scores. The administration recommends approval for One Priority Environmental Services for the abatement and Reese Albert Trucking for the demolition at Carver. Total cost for all demo and abatement is $333,570, which includes a $40,000 contingency.
All right. Before we open this up, I just want to say a few things, just kind of set the table for productive discussion, and then we'll move forward. First, I want to thank everyone who came and talked this evening. Thank you for coming and speaking, because it's important to have a voice. I'm also not going to lie, I'm going to use this to kind of weave something else in that was brought to my attention that I can't figure out how to get on into the discussion. But there's a narrative being propagated, whether it be online or anywhere else, that the men and women of this board and this district leadership are trying to make decisions that negatively impact kids in our community. And I just want to say to my fellow board members that I know each and every one of you has a heart of service and is trying to create solutions. That is what each of us was elected to do. And I also want to say to our admin team, that was what each of you was hired to do, and I appreciate the work y'all are doing, because I understand that education is a calling and that y'all are in an act of service. And so beyond it being what you're hired to do, it is also y'all are putting yourselves out there and doing the hard work. So I want to just thank each and every one of you for that, and hope that as a community, and no one here this evening said anything along that, so thank you. But as a community, I just want to say that we can do better. We can do better in treating each other well. And so I just want to say, that's what I want to say. So as a primer for the discussion regarding for this property, as most of y'all know, and I know all of our board knows, there is only one way for us as a board to discuss topics. We can talk about properties in executive session, which is not transparent, it is not open, it is not forthcoming in any way. There are times when executive session are required, personnel and other things, or we can post things as an item, and that is how local government is supposed to work. It is the definition of transparent. But unless it is posted, we as a board can't sit here and talk about it. We can't have a discussion. And so it doesn't surprise me, and I bet it doesn't surprise anyone else on this board, that we had a lot of people come talk tonight. Okay, but we don't have a way with the Open Meetings Act to have discussions without posting things for discussion. That being said, as a board, historically, we have instructed our administration team that we do not want another Travis Elementary, okay? And I get that Carver is a significantly different historical piece than Travis Elementary, but what marching orders that have been relayed by boards previously, and when we can't sit here and talk about it as without a open meeting, our administrative team has moved forward with doing something that allows us to talk about it at a meeting. And so we do, and for those, I think everyone in this room knows what I mean by Travis Elementary, but for those watching online, Travis Elementary was sold by the district. The district does not own it anymore, and it has sat in a neighborhood with, I would say, at least 1 or 2 phone calls a year coming to board members telling them, why haven't you torn down Travis Elementary? And that's a reality, but the district doesn't own that piece of property, and so that's just where we are. So as far as for this discussion, I think there are things we have to talk about with Carver, and so for all of us to talk about as we move forward, I think we have to talk about the fact that with Carver not being used, we have to talk about whether it is the best solution for it to be used for kids. Now, this is from a school perspective, not a community perspective, and there's room for community perspective as well. But from a district perspective, we have to look at what maintenance insurance costs of that and what the ongoing costs are of Carver over the next several years. If we do not feel that it is fit for children for us to be using it for children, or we have no need to be using it for children anymore. We have to look at the fact that the properties where the new KFC and the new car wash are just sold for $1.2 million. That's what the land for those 2 pieces of property sold for. It's a lot of money for kids in our district, and we got to think about that. We also need to look at the fact that the asbestos abatement alone for this project, for the bid, would cost $200,000, I think is the number. I don't want to lie to y'all.
I believe it's $180,000.
Okay, 180. And that, and one thing that when we're looking as stewards of for our taxpayers, we got to look at whether we can, always looking at whether we can add taxable value to our community that decreases the cost for the burden on the homeowners of what our taxes cost them. So we can add things that are actually of taxable value. Now, understanding all of that, we have to look at what is best for our community in all of those things. But I just wanted to set it with the fact that this wasn't a board's attempt to hide anything. I mean, there's no hiding or surprising with Carver campus. I mean, like, we knew, but there's only one way for the 7 of us to be able to have a discussion, and so that's where we're at tonight. So from that standpoint, we can either vote to move forward, we can vote to table, okay? We can vote to tear it down, we can vote to keep it. I mean, but whatever we decide to do, I think what we need to come through with our discussion this evening is make sure that we give our administrative team clear marching orders on what they need to be doing in order to do with this property. Because otherwise we have to put it on the agenda again, like before it's ready for prime time, to be able to sit there and talk about it. Questions? Further board comments?
I just have comments. I'm really appreciative of everybody that came to speak. There, is that better? I appreciate everybody that came to speak, and a lot of important things were brought up. The historical value of that building, you know, was like the Dunbar Library had been shut down in '72. And what's crazy is that little area right there, that was a big focal point at one time. I mean, I remember when Randolph ran all the way through there, we're in Milcane now. But you know, I think that we as a board do need to look at every option. And I think it's going to take time because, I mean, you know, like you said, we don't want the Travis thing again. And, you know, if we sell it, you know, if we were to sell I think we should look at different alternatives or allow the group that came in to speak to look for different alternatives for historical preservation. Maybe they can ask around or call people and see if they can get a group or whatever, what they need to do. And, you know, that we go ahead and just table it indefinitely until they find something, you know, and indefinitely is that we can go till next month or we can go for 6 months or 7 months. It's up to us then, but I think we ought to allow the community of Carver and Blackshear to look at, to see if they can find some different options of kind of like Dunbar Library was done. You know, they had different people came in to help and restored that building and all that. So that's my take. So that's what I said. Like I said, I wouldn't mind tabling this on an indefinite table.
If I can.
Is that a motion to table? Just
Yes.
I want to make sure. Okay.
Well, can I
We
make
can
the
keep
motion?
talking, but
Okay,
I just
well
didn't know that was a motion to
Okay,
table.
well then I'll make the motion. I wrote it down. To table indefinitely bid 26005, the Carter abatement and demolition, to allow time to seek partnerships and other alternatives for historical preservation. So now we can keep talking, I guess.
Okay, further discussion. Sorry, I just want to make sure I got that right.
I just wanted to say, the first thing is, there are many districts who only have one meeting a month, and they don't have the pre-agenda meeting. And I think we have the pre-agenda meeting usually the second week of the month, and then we have our regular agenda meeting the third week, which is this meeting. And I think when we talk about transparency, I feel like that's the definition of transparency. We give a week in between to discuss, for community members to get together, to call us, to speak to each other. And I really want to thank the Blackshear community for reaching out to us and for really coming to us with the beginnings of a plan. And I think, like all of you were saying, I can definitely, appreciate the historic value and would love to find a way that we can make that historic value stay here in San Angelo where it belongs. And so with respect to the Blackshear community, I'm going to second the motion.
Before we vote on that, any other comments or questions?
I got some comments. I want to thank you all for coming out. What a beautiful and respectful display of love and commitment to San Angelo. I know it's so hard to be on that end of things, and if it was easy, everybody would do it. But you all came out and showed up, and I know we all really appreciate it. There's just a couple of things that I want to mention, and there's already been a motion and a second, so thank you all. We have to also remember that these are members that we work for, and they have spoken. And I don't want the same thing to come up like with Sam Houston. The reason why these community members are speaking on every single one brought up transparency. To me, a week is not enough. It's really not, especially for busy individuals. The only reason, most everybody is in here is because of social media posts. I feel like as a team, we need to find or put forth better efforts to involve the community and let them know what's going on. I got a list today of future projects or future items that we will be talking about as far as either, demolishing future buildings or what to do with them in the future. So I think it's very important that we reserve more than a week to allow community input. That location there is, it even falls into the TIERS program, and there's so much that can be done. Today we got the opportunity to visit, myself, Amy, Dr. Moran, thank you all for showing up. Our new head of maintenance, Merle, thank y'all for showing up, knowing that you have to have a vision, and it's there. That building can definitely be preserved. It can be used for something, and it's very important to keep San Angelo, and our history makes San Angelo what it is. So from here and going forward, I'd really like to work together and just bring forth a better effort to involve our community a little bit better.
And just as a reminder, there's no way for us to talk about it though unless it's posted. So
yes,
we gotta post it.
I understand,
yeah.
but maybe more than a week.
So absolutely. The only thing I would ask is possibly for an addendum on that motion is, and this is up for debate, obviously, is like the longer that building sits there with nothing happening, the harder it is to do anything with it. And so the only thing I would say is like on that motion, instead of saying indefinitely, like let's reevaluate it in 4 months, 6 months. I'm not saying a month from now, but like let's put some heat on the fire a little bit, because if we don't, then we may stand up here a year or two from now with a building that is in worse disrepair, because as a district we're not using it, and so as a district we need to figure out how to work with the community to make sure if we're going to preserve it that we do that in a way that doesn't just add to the cost point for everyone by doing nothing for 2 years. And so I would ask if someone would make an addendum to that to say, hey, we're going to reevaluate it in 6 months or 4 months, at a timeline as opposed to indefinitely.
Okay, do I need to read the
And
whole
a point of
motion again?
order, yeah, the person that made the motion should have
okay.
been it.
Well, where is it? Okay, I'd table for 6 months. Okay, bid 26005, the Carver abatement and demolition, and to allow time, 6 months, to seek partnership and other alternatives for historical preservation of that property.
Second, I have a motion from Mr. Gallegos. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
So, no, second from Mrs. Mizell Flint. Any further board comments or questions?
Yeah, I would just like to also thank everyone for coming out. I'll be honest, I did not realize it had such a cultural impact and such historical significance to the community. So I appreciate everybody coming and speaking. Like I said, I learned a lot tonight. I really hope that we can find a partner or someone that can help us do something with it, because as the district has decreased in size and we need less classrooms, this is an issue we've had with other schools too. We just don't need as many classrooms. So as we're kind of weeded out schools, so to speak, I hope that y'all and us can work to find someone to do something of meaningful value for the building and that community. But I think we'll have our work cut out for us. But I appreciate y'all coming, and I really hope that we can find a good solution. So thank y'all.
Other comments or questions?
Of course I have. Is that okay? I just want to say thank y'all for coming. I'd love to hear people's stories, and a lot of you shared your families, your aunts, your uncles' story. And when Taylor started talking about, being kind, I've had a lot of people during the week call me, and we've had wonderful conversations. Very kind, very open, and I appreciate that. I appreciate you listening to us, and I just want to say thank you.
Yeah, Dr. Kingman, thank you for those comments. As you said, the clock continues to tick with infrastructure, construction, maintenance, utilities, security costs. All those items continue, and as they rise, so do the demolition costs rise. I saw Lakeview stand for quite some time, for a long time, until it was burned twice, and then finally was torn down after 10 years standing. And it became what was history for me, because I was raised on that north side of town all my life. All my siblings went there. My mother worked there for a long time. I actually graduated from there. It was a disgrace until we finally got it torn down. So with that, I want to say thank you for coming tonight, and thank you for your passion for your property and for your school and for your history. I appreciate that. And here's some comments that you guys made that I want to charge you with that will help us move forward. We look at things via money value. We also look at things via what's best for kids. And so this history can help kids move forward as their parents, as the lineage goes on forward, and you continue to tell the story. This board is considered callous, uncaring, and cold-hearted at times. Even Representative Cardenas thinks of us at that point sometimes, because that's what we are. I mean, we survive visceral comments.
That is not true at all. I know that we all care, and
right.
we just come from different.
And we all care, and I know you care too.
Oh yes, we wouldn't be sitting here if we didn't.
I'm going to finish. Okay, can I finish?
I'm just.
Okay.
You've mentioned me.
So. You'll have your opportunity.
Yeah, you can respond. There have been visceral comments on social media for quite some time about board members that don't care, that are terrible personally, and I encourage you to listen to those things, and you can even review them. I don't care, but take heart of this board and what they do, how they serve, and how they serve their community. It's been a long-term job for me. It's difficult at times. We make difficult decisions every day. I've been on both sides of that win, and I've been on both sides of those denials of those decisions. That's okay. The board continues to serve to the best of its ability to the students and to the community and to the taxpayers of this community. So with that, I heard Ms. Haywood say, we will do what we need to do. Is that correct? You'll hear that? Okay. That's our charge, but also in that same tone, Mr. Villarreal has said, I'd like to charge your staff with ideas and things to get this done. I want to charge the community to form a committee locally. I'll be a part of it. You know, we need to solve these problems long term, and we need a long-term solution for this property and for the citizens of the citizens of San Angelo and for the taxpayers. I heard Dr. Butler. I've known her since college, I think. She's a lovely young woman that has lots of ideas and cares for her community. She's still a lovely young woman that cares a lot for her community. I'm just saying. She's been my friend for a long time. Ms. Spears has represented this community for quite some time, and also Ms. Reed has taken that position. They're passionate about this community. They're passionate about the education of students in this community, I think, too. And that fares well for the NAACP as we try to advance not only the condition of one student, but all students. I don't care where they live. I don't care if they live in Lakeview. I don't care if they live in Central. I want all students to succeed and find their passion and do things the best way that they can. Let's see. Mr. Keeley, I don't know if he's still here. I think he mentioned that the city wanted to be a part of it. Well, put your money where your mouth is. Step up. Let's get together. The school's willing to work together. But again, this process doesn't need to be driven by the school board or the staff. This process needs to be driven by the community. The clock is ticking. We've got to make some decisions on that with this property. So I'm trying to read my notes. So my idea would be the onus would be on the community to form this committee that looks at possible ideas and create ideas, and then also form plans, come up with solutions, and then also find finance. That's a big part of this project. I mean, I'm sure the school will come along with this, alongside with you guys, but it needs to be a partnership, not only with the school, because the school, with its declining funds, does not have the ability to create a new environment at that facility. They just do not have the funds. I'll tell you right now, it's not there. And then finally, again, Mr. Keeley needs to come alongside with the city with his help. I know that the infrastructure in the building is crumbling. The infrastructure to the building is crumbling. And that shouldn't be the responsibility of the building owner. That should be the responsibility of the city. My take on that. Let's see if I've got any other comments. You know, you say we're cold, calculating, uncaring. We care a lot. All this board cares a lot. I'm just saying. We want every student to succeed in this community. And and I'm not for sure if you realize how hard this position is to make decisions that affect kids' lives for the next 20 years. And that's what we've got to do right now, is we've got to get everything in position for the next 20 years. Not just next year, not just the following year, but 20 years from now. We've got to say, this school district is the best district in the state of Texas. Are there issues? I don't know anybody of you guys out there that don't have issues. Everybody has issues. This school district has issues. But together we can solve these things and move forward. Amen. I agree. Let's pray. Yeah, if I could, I would.
Any further board comments?
Bill, I love your passion today. That's what I'm talking about. But the comment you made about me, let me go on record.
Now? Okay, all right.
Let me go on record. The comment you made about me, you've never heard me say that. So I know that you're probably coming from a place of many times me being the odd vote out, and not agreeing with you all. Otherwise, I don't know where you're coming from with that. But I have respect for each and every one of you, just like you all have shown me respect. Meeting after meeting after meeting, there's never been any type of tension or anything. We can always sit up here and agree to disagree, and together, there's 7 people here that come from different mindsets. Together, we make a grand team if we listen to each other's ideas and thoughts. Just because I have a difference of votes here recently, I've only been on the board for 11 months. You've been on here for 12 years. So, give me an opportunity to be a part of the team and not call me out like that just because I have a different vote.
There was no call out.
That's
There's
okay.
some respect for history.
Okay.
We've been here for a while. Yeah.
There we go. That's my rebuttal. But I love your passion today, Bill. I love to see it.
All right. We're going to move forward. There was a motion from Mr. Gallegos and a second from Mrs. Mizell Flint. Any further board comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. All against say the same. Oh, sorry. Be right. All in favor say aye. Raise your hand. Sorry. All against say the same. Motion passes 7-0. All right. Thank you all. Next, we're going to do consider the superintendent's recommendations for the 26-27 teachers and other professional contracts. And Dr. LeMaster is going to help.
Remember, you guys have got to come alongside us now. All right? Okay. Bring it. Bring it. Don't sing it. Bring it.
Dr. LeMaster. All right, Dr. LeMaster, this is all at our table.
Yes,
if
sir.
you will help us with this, I appreciate it.
Good evening, Dr. Kingman, Dr. Moran, members of the board. Tonight I'm bringing forward the annual teacher contracts for renewal. These contracts reflect our continued commitment to supporting and retaining high-quality educators who serve our students each and every day. I recommend your approval as presented.
All right, there is a list at your table. Does anyone need anything pulled from the contract recommendations? Do I have a motion to approve the contract recommendations as presented?
I'll make a motion to approve the contract recommendations as presented.
A motion from Mr. Gallegos. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
A second from Mrs. Mizell Flint. Ms. Duncan,
Was that supposed to include the year?
as presented, I think you're okay.
Okay, we're good, all right.
So I have a motion from Mr. Gallegos and a second from Mrs. Mizell Flint. Any other board questions or comments?
I'll make a comment that I looked through all this list, and I saw many on here that could retire. And I praise God they're coming back. And anyone else on this list, thank you for coming back to serve our kids and our community, and God bless you.
We're grateful.
Any other board comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Raise your hand. Everyone. All against say the same. Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Dr. LeMaster. Next, we have Mr. Lee Livingston, and this is discussion regarding our bill, Senate Bill 546.
Good evening, everybody. Try not to break it here. Senate Bill 546 passed during the 89th legislative session, strengthened the standards of school buses in the state of Texas for 3-point restraints for each passenger location. And therefore, we're required to report the standings of the fleet to TEA by May 29th of this year, and that's what we're asking you to do. We're recommending the Board of Trustees acknowledge to TEA the district does not possess adequate funding to bring the entire fleet into compliance by September 1st of 2029.
So just as a reminder for those who don't watch school board meetings for fun, we looked at speeding up our purchasing of school buses to meet the legislature guideline with declining enrollment. Instead of using fund balance for that, we do have enough buses already purchased, not necessarily delivered, but already purchased, that all of our daily buses will have 3-point harnesses. It is just our spare buses that would need to be replaced at this point in time. Correct?
There will be, as the fleet currently runs, there's 2 buses that are used for special needs transportation that'll probably not be replaced with the current purchases that are still outstanding, but will, depending upon the needs, they may not have to run comes August as well. But everything else should have 3-point restraints for the daily buses, the ones that run every day.
And then also, there was discussion in our pre-agenda meeting as many districts are, so we have a fund balance, and we discussed fund balance to meet the state requirement. But there are many districts that do not have the fund balance to proceed with that. And given our declining enrollment and need to be able to position ourselves in the future, those other districts there's rumors that there'll be grants and other things available to those districts. And so instead of going and spending money before we know all of the information, the idea is to take a step back for a moment, make sure that where we are, and then decide in the future where to go. We will continue to be replacing our entire fleet over the next, with our fleet replacement series over the next 8 years.
We definitely want to try to do that if we can, yes.
Any other questions?
Just one comment.
I just want to summarize.
After we went to the TASB thing Saturday, this is what you call an unfunded mandate. You know, I mean, we were talking to people there in Austin that were saying, because you're talking millions of dollars that the school is the state is requiring for people, there's districts to put on their buses, and that's millions of dollars, and it's an unfunded mandate. And I think which this segued to something else I was thinking about. If Merle, Brandon, or someone can send each of us something like how many unfunded mandates that we were given and how much they cost. It's just to let people know that this is an unfunded mandate. You know, we're not like intentionally going to go buy 3-point seat restraints. The state made us do it, but then they didn't provide any funding for it, because that's a very expensive bill. And there's a lot of like I can't even go on with that, but just to let people know, this is an unfunded mandate. So
the good news is I don't think Dr. Brandon probably has to do that. I think Google can probably
that list already exists.
Yeah, create that exists. But any other comments regarding Senate Bill 546?
I have a question. And this may be more thinking further out than we need to, but how will the bus driver be the one that requires the students to put the restraints on? And like, how will they oversee that? Am I thinking too far out? I'm just thinking like we're going to have all these restraints and millions of dollars spent across the state.
As it sits right now, they're not actually required to wear them. We are required to suggest that they wear them. But I do think that that's something we're going to see out of the next legislative session.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it comes with any meat to it or not, I don't know. But I do expect to see that the next time around.
Thank you.
All right. Do I have a motion regarding the administrative recommendation?
Dr. Committee, recommend that the board that we acknowledge to the TEA that the district does not possess adequate funding to bring the entire fleet into compliance by September 1, 2029.
Second.
I have a motion. Sorry. I have a motion from Mr. Dindal and a second from Mr. Gallegos. Any other board comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye.
I'm sorry.
All against say the same. Motion passes 7-0. All right. Next, we're going to go to bid 26-002, Lakeview Concession. It's one of the 2025 bond projects.
The addition of a concession stand at Lakeview was one of the proposed 2025 bond projects. Currently, the Lakeview baseball and softball complexes have very small concession areas at their fields that do not work well for the facility. The new concession stand will be a shared facility that will serve the entire Lakeview sports complex. This pricing will include a new ticket booth, an officials' locker room, and expanded parking lot. With the assistance of KFW Architects and SKG Engineering, plans were drawn and specifications were written for companies capable of performing this type of work. We received 5 competitive bids. These were reviewed and scored, and Lee Lewis not only had the lowest price, but also received the highest score. The administration recommends approval of Lee Lewis for the base bid and alternate one. This includes a new concession stand, new ticket booth, an officials' locker room, and an expanded parking lot. Base bid for this project is $2,059,000, and alternate one that adds an island sidewalk and lighting for the parking lot for $41,500, bringing the total cost to $2,100,500. Are there any questions over this project?
What was the allocation on the bond when we proposed the bond for this project?
So the overall will be approximately 200,000 over what was proposed in the bond. So at some point we will have to, in an area that we're under in a bond project, but as we went through the design phase, meetings with the city, we felt like there was a need for lighting in that area, just for our parents to come and go. Some additional sidewalks. There just were some things that were placed within the design that wasn't originally planned for. So out of that, approximately 200,000, the project would be slightly over.
Other questions or comments?
I'm not sure if this was recent, but it was posted on Friday Facts. We all got it in our Friday Facts if you saw the bid breakdown on that. So.
All right.
With that, I'd move to recommend the approval of Lee Lewis for the base bid and alternate one. This includes a new concession stand, a new ticket booth, an officials locker room, and expanding the parking lot. The base cost for the project is $2,059,000, and the alternate one that adds an island sidewalk and lights in the parking lot, which are needed in that area for sure, for $41,500. The total cost, that brings the total cost of the project to $2,100,000 and $100,500. I'd like to thank SKG and Mr. Weiner for their work on this project. It's very professional, looks good. It will improve the landscape, obviously, of the north side community, and with the new sports fields and the new creation of the sub-varsity playing field out there is going to be very nice for the Lakeview community.
I have a motion from Mr. Dindal. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second from Mrs. Duncan. Any further board comments or questions? All right. All in favor say aye and raise your hand.
Aye.
Against say the same. Motion passes 7-0. That's the stupidest law. All right. Next, Dr. Brandon's going to help us consider the approval of the educational specifications that we went through at our pre-agenda.
Dr. Kingman, Dr. Moran, Board of Trustees, the board policy CS Legal defines a capital improvement project as any school facility project consisting of new construction, major renovation, or minor renovation for which construction services are procured under Government Code 2269 and in accordance with Education Code 44.03. So this evening, this was presented by Park Hill Architects during the pre-agenda, so we'll go through quickly because I know you've seen that, see if there are any other questions that you might have. So just as you see the table of contents, mission and vision and goals, the details, the multi-hazard emergency operations plan, design goals and considerations, minimum square footage, and then innovative teaching and operational practices. These, certainly our mission and vision, are shared on the website and across the district. And I know Dr. Moran does a great job of keeping that in front of us. The preliminary details, we see what the maximum student enrollment would be for each category of campus, elementary, middle, and high. We have the space overview. These are minimum requirements. It may look a little odd to have an elementary classroom a high school classroom smaller than an elementary, but sometimes you maybe have a pre-calculus class that has 8 students rather than a speech class with 28. So that's minimum. That's not what each one would be at. And then you see the TEA requirements, minimum requirements on all the other categories, including science and library. Each plan has to contain the provisions from the state legislature in the multi-hazard emergency operations plan that we have. Being inclusive for all students, ADA, the minimum total square footage per student, and RJ from Park Hill talked through the differences between the quantitative and qualitative methods, and then talked through the flexibility level for our teachers, which I think Ms. Duncan pointed out they'll appreciate the flexibility to be able to move in their classroom, group students, and have a flexible space for instruction. We have our innovative teaching and operational practices, how that's built into design, how the architect uses sunlight, security, and tries to make all of the environments learner-centered with, as you see, future-ready spaces. I know we kind of went through those quickly, but I know we talked about those just a week ago. Those will be on our website for the community to review as well. We would like to, administration would recommend adopting the educational specifications so that they can be part of our long-range facility plan.
And just for our community, we talked about this last week, but a lot of these things are things we had separated and apart in different areas when we did our bond planning, or when we look at our safety plan for school security, et cetera. This is bringing it all to one spot, because since we did pass a bond, we have to have it all in one spot for the state, per state requirements. And so it's not really bringing anything relatively new. It's really just bringing it all together into one compilation that's actually easier for our community to see. So, any questions regarding that? Do I have a motion? I'll make a motion that we approve the educational specifications as presented.
I'll second.
Motion for myself and a second from Mr. Dindal. Any further board questions or comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Everyone raise their hand. Aye. Okay, thank you. Motion passes 7-0. All right, next, Dr. Brandon, you're up. 5-year facility plan.
So bringing all of those things together in one place is a great segue into this second topic of the long-range facility plan. Okay, we'll kind of move through this as well as we reviewed that during the pre-agenda. What's included in the long-range facility plan, we talked through each one of those components last week. All the different programming, academic, special education, emergent bilingual, advanced academics. You can see pretty much every category that's included for students in the district. College and career military readiness, STEM, health sciences, community and business engagement. And that leads right into the element 1, instructional programs at project campuses. And this gives a very in-depth overview. I guess you can't have maybe an in-depth overview, but right, keeping it at a larger level, but going into the details of what that might include. And you can see each one of those bullets for all the campuses that are receiving bond projects and what the focus would be on each one of those. See all the different campuses that are listed. And then the age and condition of existing facilities, that was the kind of a prerequisite, right, during bond planning as the community came together to plan for what might be included in a bond. This was certainly one of the major considerations. Facility Condition Index, the FCI, and the Building Condition Index, the BCI. And each one of those campuses being listed. And then the age of each one of the facilities. And we kind of made a point early on, right, that there were 0 buildings in the district, 0 to 20 years. So it was definitely a time, and we're very appreciative to the community to be able to place some newer facilities within the district. Element number 2, a description of those proposed projects. And then you see what is included for each one of those campuses as part of the bond timeline. Element 3, what's happened in the past? What led up to the decision by the community to approve a bond? And you can go through and see for years back how those bond measures have gone, pass or fail, and what those amounts proposed were. And then each one of the campuses, existing site plans, you see that kind of from a Google satellite perspective for each one that's included in the bond. And then we have the visuals for each one that was shared with the community of what that construction was going to look like. There being Central High School, Lakeview, some of the things we've talked about this evening with the new fields, turf, the New Glen Middle School, and then the projects that are being completed at Crockett and Fannin. Also at McGill. And then here we have the educational specifications that had to be included. So we approved those, and now they're included as part of our long-range facility plan of what the expectations are during the construction. Each one of those we just looked at. Capacity enrollment projections, so the data from the demographer that led into many of the conversations about declining enrollment, and then what those capacities should look like within the district. And then our safety and security element number 7, what should each campus represent with safety and security for our staff and students. So like Dr. Kingman mentioned, all of those now kind of rolled into a long-range facility plan that will be on the website that our community members can go. If you have any questions, we're certainly happy to answer those. But that kind of puts it all together in one space as we've gone through all of the planning over the last couple of years, looking at all the different data to lead to the passage by the community of the bond.
Questions for Dr. Brandon? All right, we all did this last week. Do we have a motion to approve the 5-year facility plan as presented?
I'll make a motion to approve the 5-year facility plan as presented.
I have a motion from Dr. Mills. Do I have a second?
A second.
Second from Mr. Dindal. Any further board comments or questions? All in favor say aye and raise your hand. All against say the same. Motion passes 7-0. All right, we do quickly need to go into executive session. I promise it won't be long. It'll be 5510.074 personnel matters and 551.076 security devices. We are back from executive session. We took no votes. No action was taken. Only thing left on our agenda is our pre-agenda meeting is May 11th, and our regular board meeting is May 18th next month. And with that, we are adjourned. Thank you all.